A popular new football product releases, but before it can even be put on store shelves, the Jaden Daniels 1 of 1, gone. The Drake May 1 of 1, gone. And 5 other 1 of 1s from the product, all gone. Because one breaker found all of them inside one sealed case. What is going on here? We'll break it down next. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode of Cards on the Table. Doug, Teapot, it is lovely to see both of you with me again here today.
You're right, it is.
It is a great day. It's a great day. We're Memorial Day's just around the corner. The summer is about to start. It's a good time. It's a good time to be here. Good time to be here. We're expecting a big summer, by the way, at Cards HQ.
Summer in Atlanta is really not my favorite thing.
The Major League Baseball All-Star Game is taking place in July.
That's true.
Just less than a mile down the road from Cards HQ. We're going to hopefully have some players by the shop. It's going to be a great event.
Yep.
It's going to be a great event.
Hoping to sneak in the back.
There you go. That's coming up in July, but that is not what we are here to talk about today. What we need to talk about right now, gentlemen, is the lead story, and this one is a doozy. So Donruss, clearly football, popular product each year. We sell a lot of it here in the shop. Well, release day for this product, few days ago, but before release day even hits, first off the line cases of the product were shipped out, and one breaker, We The Hobby, along with a lot of other breakers, had ordered first off the line cases of this product. Well, We The Hobby was breaking it on one of their streams, as they're allowed to do. You're allowed to open up first off the line as soon as you get it in, and wouldn't you know it, in one of their case breaks, they pop the case open, they start opening up the boxes, and inside one case, they find 7 different 1 of 1s, including possibly the 2 most sought after cards in the entire product, a Jaden Daniels 1 of 1 and a Drake May 1 of 1. They also found the Justin Herbert 1 of 1, a Kirk Cousins, a Marshawn Lloyd, a Joe Milton, some people might like that one, and a Tyler Nubin, all of their 1 of 1s, all in one case. And the problem is, this happened before release day of the regular product. So by the time the actual hobby boxes of that product made their way onto store shelves across the country, some of the biggest chases from the product were gone. They were out. They were no longer there. This, by the way, this type of thing has been happening somewhat often. It was just 2 days before that another breaker named Tony, he opened up a case of 2024 Donruss Optic, and in one case, he hit 72 autographs. 72 autographs in one case of Donruss Optic. You know, great for him, great for the people that are in the break, but now you got to worry that we might have some missing autographs in some of the other boxes and cases that are out on store shelves or that other people might be buying into with their breaks. My question, is there any chance that Panini could have done these things intentionally, or was this just a massive, massive mistake with the way the products are assembled? And of course, Topps recently brought in KPMG to audit their process and say that it was random. Does Panini need to be calling KPMG tomorrow and being like, hey, get in here because there's some odd stuff happening with how these boxes are being assembled and distributed? Feels a little strange. Teapot, what was your reaction when you saw all of this?
My reaction was exactly that, KPMG. Get them in there. Obviously, there's a process flaw broken. No, I don't think Panini has any incentive to do this intentionally. Not as a company, not at a corporate level. Could some insider who has access to something have funneled it? Sure, maybe, but it's not like it's the same breaker every time. And We The Hobby rips a ton of stuff over and over again. So I don't think it has anything to do with them, and I don't think it has anything to do with Panini in general, like trying to do this. It just seems like their process needs to be tightened up and fixed. And those are not the first 2 times we've seen this happen. When we talked about KPMG coming in with Topps, I mentioned that even Topps has had problems. So even if you do bring in a large auditor, whether it's KPMG or Deloitte or Ernst & Young or somebody else, there could still be risk that things don't go the way that they're supposed to. It's where we're never going to get that visibility and transparency to their process, to their RNG, to their pack out, to any of that. But it would be nice to, because there's obviously a lot of flaws inherent to whatever it is they're doing and how that process comes about. So I think it would be really easy for people to point to this and just continue to scream, oh, loaded for breakers, it's always the breakers. But the truth is, imagine if that case that We the Hobby had been ripped by individual end users, one box at a time, in the comfort of their own home, or potentially distributed across the country by David Adams or somebody else, or by Cards HQ, and we would have never known. Somebody would have just hit a one of one and not known that it came from the same case as everything else. So that's the piece with breaking that people never talk about. And I've been, critical of certain events happening the way that they do, but you have to understand, I think this happens actually a lot more often than we realize, of things coming from a specific case or a random loaded box that just goes to one person that isn't on social media or anything and just gets their lucky day. So tighten up the process, Panini, follow Topps lead and be better.
Okay, are you with Teapot here, Doug? Just kind of a random unfortunate occurrence that occurred, or is there anything more to this?
It's got to be random, in my opinion. We talked about the whole Topps audit, and we all had pretty similar views on that. I was pretty surprised to see our comment section mostly saying the opposite, saying, "Oh, it's definitely rigged." Of course, that blows my mind that people still think that companies this big would risk it all, risk their entire reputation to load boxes for somebody else. I'm not going to rehash that and go back into it. I just think that's crazy. The thing that bothers me, though, is just, it would be so much fun as a breaker to be in one of those situations, right? If I had the box that 72 autos, that'd be the most fun break of all time. I would love handing out autos to everybody that's joined my break. But now all I can think about is the 72 boxes that are missing autos now, because that's exactly what's happened, right? Somebody's going to get skunked 72 times. These 7 one-of-ones, those are 7 other boxes or cases that are probably missing at least one major hit. That's what I think about in these situations, is how unfortunate it's going to be for the people that are losing out in the scenario, because there's not going to be a winner without a loser, right? So that's the part that sucks, and auditing is probably pretty necessary, because this isn't a rare occurrence. It's rare in the sense that they print tens of thousands of boxes. Maybe that's more of the issue, right? Maybe they're just printing so much that accidents are more seem to be more frequent, because if you're doing something 40,000, 50,000 times, you'll probably mess up a couple times, and it's going to show up.
They got all the boxes stacked up and randomized, and then somebody knocked them over, and they were like, I don't know.
Yeah, these are all good points. I agree. If you look at the incentives, what would be the incentive for Panini to try to fix this in some way? There's no incentive. It's great for We the Hobby, as you said, or it is great for that other breaker, Tony, but and for their customers, but then it's really bad for every single other breaker and every single other hobby shop out there.
It's bad PR for Panini.
Right, it is kind of bad PR. So there's no incentive for them to do this. Obviously, I think this was a mess up. Maybe the autograph case with the 72 autographs, maybe they had extra autos and they decided to shove them all in one case and make it like a hot case. But even then, they don't communicate this stuff. And that's part of the problem with Panini. They don't come out, they never respond to stories, they never confirm or deny anything. It's just you don't know what happened, you're never gonna hear it from Panini, so here we are left to wonder what happened in these circumstances, and all we can conclude is that it's a mess up in their printing facility, and it's screwed up, and unfortunately, especially with the case of 2 of the biggest one-of-ones being pulled from the product, that isn't great. That takes major chases away from the product, which then takes revenue away from other hobby shops and breakers, and it takes interest away from customers who, when they walk into the shop and they see the product and they're like, well, the Jaden Daniels already been pulled, the Drake May's already been pulled.
I think that's a little overrated, though. I don't know anybody who's ever joined a break specifically chasing a one-of-one. And if you do,
Maybe not these 2 on this product, but there has definitely been correlation. For example,
if it were like a flawless or a national
maybe the
treasure.
most extreme example, when the Paul Skeens MLB debut patch was finally surfaced out of Topps Chrome update last year, the price of those boxes started dropping overnight. We saw the market on those boxes go steeply down in the days after the Paul Skeens was pulled. Now, that's a very high-profile big example. When the triple logo man from Flawless was pulled a couple of years ago that everyone was chasing, the LeBron triple logo man, those boxes nosedived right after that was finally pulled. So, yeah, I agree. With this product,
if I'm joining that break, I'm probably chasing the downtowns or some other low-numbered card. I didn't join that hoping I'm getting a 1 of 1 because that's just so impossible.
That's fair. That's fair. So maybe it has a little less of an impact on the market. It's still not great, though. Like, I mean, hey, congratulations to those who bought into that break. Hopefully they got some of those 1-on-1s. That would have been an amazing break to be part of, but I would love to see this more, equally distributed. Okay, we got to talk about this $1 million giveaway as part of a contest against athletes that Fanatics is now doing at Fanatics Fest this year. This thing is wild, but first, let's rip a couple of slab packs because this is the time in the show when we do that. Doug, let's start with you today. We're doing the Ruby packs today, so a little more value of a pack. Which one did you do here?
Sticking with basketball. I've got playoff fever.
Oh, well, hey.
LeBron Jam Masters.
Well,
that's orange fluorescent, so out of 25.
LeBron is not playoff fever anymore, unfortunately. However, I love the Jam Masters card. Yeah. I think those are some of the coolest inserts, actually, that Panini makes. That's one of my favorites. LeBron number to 25, not bad. Yeah, very nice. T-Paul, what did you get here? Football. So we got the Ruby football pack, the Arena Club Ruby football slab pack.
Oh,
Baker.
There you go.
That's sharp.
It's out of 10.
That's a nice looking card.
That's an on-card auto out of 10 at Baker
really
Mayfield.
Like that, actually.
That's actually a really nice card.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
old school. Is that a rookie? I can't tell if that's a rookie.
Is
it a rookie?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a rookie Baker Mayfield to 10?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Looks like it.
It's actually a really solid hit.
I like that.
He's good.
It's nice.
He's good. All right. I did basketball.
Was that Jordan?
Oh, that is Jordan.
But
look
it's the Wizards Jordan.
Look at it's Wizards Jordan. But it is Jordan. It is Playing Days Jordan 2001 Topps Chrome Fast and Furious Refractor.
That one stood out to me when I was looking at the hits that you could get on the checklist side. That one jumped out at me.
There you go. That was fun. There you go. So guys, these slab packs are available on Arena Club's website and on the Arena Club app. They've got them all kinds of different price levels. You can rip them right away. They give you an instant buyback offer as well if you don't like the card that you got. They're pretty cool. The best part is that if you use promo code SCI20, you get 20% off your first slab pack purchase. So if you're curious, if you want to try it out, make sure to use promo code SCI20, get 20% off, rip a slab pack, and have some fun with that today at Arena Club. All right, let's jump into this story about this crazy Fanatics contest. This just broke the other day, a big announcement by Michael Rubin. So all three of us are going to Fanatics Fest. We're looking forward to it. Now the event has been taken in a little bit of a new direction because Michael Rubin has announced that at Fanatics Fest, there will be a competition between 50 fans, 50 people, ticket holders to Fanatics Fest, and 50 athletes who are going to be participating in this, including athletes like Tom Brady and Kevin Durant, and Jaden Daniels is going to be part of it as well. The fans and the athletes are competing in 8 different sport challenges like a quarterback throwing drill, a NBA around the world shooting drill, etc. on down the line. I assume it's the fan that comes in first, that best competes against unless the prizes are available to the athletes as well. I don't know. I assume the prizes are just for the fans, but I actually don't know the answer to that. But whoever wins first place is going to walk out of Fanatics Fest with $1 million in cash. And Michael Rubin was actually carrying around a duffel bag in the teaser video with $1 million. So they might literally hand you a duffel.
I hope not.
With $1 million and say, go have fun on the streets of New York tonight.
Security truck to drive me home.
Just walk that back to your hotel.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
You'll be all right.
But no, $1 million in cash is the first prize. Second place is a Ferrari 812 GTS, a $500,000 car. And third place is actually the prize that I like the best. The 2003 LeBron James Topps Chrome Gold Refractor BGS 9.5.
Is that better than yours?
I like the $1 million.
Mine's a BGS
better.
9. Mine's a BGS 9. This is, although mine's better centered than that one. Mine's better centered. Oh, mine's better. Mine's a better copy.
Okay.
Mine's a better copy.
Right.
That is a $250,000 card. That will be third place. So this is, by the way, fans who want to participate in this, they have to apply by submitting a video. You have to have a Fanatics Fest ticket. You have to submit a video. You can do that through the Fanatics app, or you can do that on social media. You have to tag them. You go to Fanatics social, and you'll see how to do the whole thing. But Teapot, does this raise the bar of the event for you, or does this actually distract from the whole like collecting hobby aspect that is also supposed to be a large part of this event? What did you think of this?
This is insane. I know. I mean, how could you not like this? I think it's really interesting, really cool. I'm excited to see how it goes, what kind of characters show up for this. There's a lot of different stuff, like a WWE walkout and some other things that I saw. So I think it's an awesome idea. This is, to me, I just said, like, talk about raising the bar into year 2 of this event after it was so well received last year. So many positive things said about this. The big thing, the only thing on my mind is, will we be having the SCI games ramped up when we do another virtual here? And if so, will your Titanium Fusion Kobe Bryant be on the prize pool for Teapot to take home?
Don't know if I'm going to put that one on the prize pool. I might, maybe like
I'll take $1 million then. That's
maybe
all right.
like a 1995 Barry Sanders base card or something.
Wow.
We'll toss that into the equation.
Very generous, thank you.
You would, Teapot, I would think along with you what's not to like, but the very first most liked comment on this post that when Fanatics announced it, when I saw it, was, way to go, Fanatics. You could have taken that $1.75 million and put it into better quality control for tops instead, and that would have been a lot better idea.
Yeah.
So
Those are mutually exclusive ideas.
So some people don't think this is such a good idea. What say you about this, Doug?
Great. This is, the whole pros versus Joes concept, right? A couple things pop into my head. Say you're doing the NFL QB drill, and you get matched up against Tom Brady, but the guy next to you has got Cody Rhodes or somebody else. Kind of screwed, right? Like, is that how this process is going to work?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering too.
I need a lot more details about these games, because it could just be, RNG that kind of screws you over if you get, a wrong pairing in the wrong event kind of thing. I don't think this takes away from the collector aspect, because this isn't a huge collector's show. This is a fan experience, a sports fan experience.
That's right.
I did hear that they're kind of growing the collection portion of this. Last year it was maybe 30% of it, and I think they're going to increase that to 40 or 50%, which is great news for us, of course. But for the show overall, no. I mean, that's what the show is.
Mm-hmm.
It is it's a fan experience. As far as that comment, like, you could take this money and do this with it. Obviously, that doesn't make any sense, because these are completely exclusive things. What I wouldn't have minded seeing is, if you got $2 million laying around, maybe bring back the Orlando idea. Bring back they scrapped Fanatics Fest Orlando very late in the game. They scrapped the idea of a West Coast Fanatics Fest. If you got $2 million lying around, give us one of those shows.
Do some
back.
more shows?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think from a marketing perspective, this is brilliant. I think this is going to put Fanatics Fest much more on the map with the average sports fan. I mean, this is pure Mr. Beast style. I'll say this honestly. I've said this to the people at Fanatics. Fanatics and Tops are bad at long-form YouTube content. We're good at long-form YouTube content. They're bad. This is Mr. Beast style, really cool video, like for YouTube, written all over it. I hope they actually do that.
Mr. Beast might even be one of
I
the
don't know
people
if
for all
they
we
will.
know.
If they don't, they should have us do it, because do the filming of the whole thing, because obviously our team would do a bang-up job of putting that out there. Because this not only should be a massive draw to the event, but it also should be a massive video that people watch, like a really cool thing. Get Mr. Beast there. Get Mr. Beast there. Let him run this thing. But I think it's going to attract a lot of people to the event. I think it's going to bring a lot of attention to the event. And ultimately, Fanatics is attempting to use this event to get the everyday sports fan exposed to sports cards and collecting. And so if they can amp up the event for the everyday sports fan, that's going to be really good to then cross some of those people over with your exposure to sports cards and collecting. So excited for that. We got a Cards HQ booth there, so I know we're going to be excited to see all those fans at this. Speaking of Fanatics Fest, next story today. They recently announced that they're going to be doing an exclusive drop of Top Series 2 at Fanatics Fest. And this drop, what will make it unique is it's going to have 2 unique inserts. It's going to have the Big Apple insert and a swinging for the stars insert that you can't get in normal Top Series 2. So it will be limited only to the people who buy this at Fanatics Fest. This is actually the second of 3 unique products that they're going to be dropping at Fanatics Fest. The first was an F1 product. We don't know what the third product is yet. This has people excited, yet also some people annoyed, because the criticism that I've heard about this one is that all the VIP badges, which allow you to get in front of the line, and that line last year was nasty for these boxes. I mean, the line could have been a couple hours. But the VIP badge allows you to get in first and go in line first. So that has a lot of value if you're trying to get these exclusive releases, but the VIP thing sold out prior to these special releases being announced. So now that people have heard, oh my gosh, they're doing a special Top Series 2 release, they're now upset that news was given to them after they had the opportunity to buy a VIP badge. So I don't know, Doug, you're going to be at Fanatics Fest. Is this a product you're going to be going after? What do you think of these exclusive releases?
No, I won't go after it because I can't stand lines. I cannot stand waiting in lines. And this is going to be like a 2 or 3 hour long line. If I go to an amusement park, I'm buying the Fast Pass. Hate lines. This might be controversial, maybe a little bit of a hot take, but I think it's cool that they gave this benefit to VIP. Because if you remember last year, that was one of the major complaints. We talked about it on this show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
One of the major complaints was that they did nothing for VIP. It was a very lackluster VIP experience. So this is probably one step towards making that a better experience. I'm sure there's other great perks that come along with it, but that's something they needed to do to kind of improve from last year. Now, as far as exclusives overall, I'm on the fence about it. On one hand, I feel for all the 99.9% of collectors that are at home that don't have access to this. And it would be cool if they had some sort of limited online release of the same product that coincided with this. Maybe lottery style, I don't know, that would give people at home a chance to go for these products. But, it drives people into an event. It creates a lot of hype around an event that they want to be hyped up. And in-person events also eliminate, bots getting all the online inventory. It kind of eliminates your average scalper, someone who just goes to a retail store and buys everything with the intent of flipping it, who doesn't really participate in the hobby. That kind of eliminates them to an extent as well, because there's not going to be people like that just coming to this event. It's mostly going to be people that participate in the hobby or in the fan experience overall. So I get both sides of that, both sides of the coin. I'm sort of indifferent on it. I guess it's cool, but I'm not waiting for it.
Okay. Teapot, how about you? Are you going to rush it? You're going to be there?
I'm excited.
Are you going to get in the line, unlike Doug? Are you going to wait 3 hours potentially to get this box?
No. I also hate lines,
Okay.
but I don't have a problem with event exclusive things. I don't have a problem with the VIPs getting first dibs on this at all. In fact, it's just kind of how the world works. Like at the end of the day, there's nothing that Topps could do to make everybody happy here. There's no, equitability of distribution of product. No matter what, everybody has a hobby budget. And then there's bots and there's other things, and can you get to the shop fast enough to get your supply and whatever? And then people complain about overproduction, even though they can't get enough supply to track it down when they run out. So there's nothing. They could have made this available through their website with randomly distributed, ones. Well, then only those people are happy, and everybody else complains and says, well, I never win anything. I'm sure it's rigged. It's just, that's what's gonna happen. We just did our Market Mover member live stream on Tuesday night, and we give away tons of free stuff to people for submitting questions and just showing up, all of our members, and we run the randoms, and invariably anybody who didn't win, which is unfortunately probably 90% of the people, complain that they must not be on the list or whatever. It's just kind of how it goes. So I think it's okay. I think VIP exists. I think first class and member perks and all kinds of things exist in the world, and if you can make it to the show, that's awesome. Hopefully you get a shot at one of the boxes. If not, you're probably going to get a shot at some of these Big Apple and other Swinging for the Stars cards on eBay or something afterwards. So go chase them down that way.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well said.
I think it's fine.
Well said. Well said. All right, I want to jump to the last topic today, guys. We had a really big card, and this one's a big deal, this card sale. So this is Ken Griffey Jr.'s highest selling card ever. Just happened over the weekend at Heritage Auctions. $280,600 for his 1998 Skybox EX 2001 Essential Credentials Now card. A very well sought after card. These cards are numbered to 10, so there's only 10 of them out there. Very rarely come up for auction. This one was a PSA 9 copy, which is actually a very high grade for that card. Pop 2 of that card. This is, believe it or not, this is the first time in history that a Ken Griffey Jr. card has ever sold for 6 figures. A Ken Griffey Jr. card had never broken $100,000 before. The previous record was $84,000 for a 1998 Upper Deck, a piece of action card. That one sold for $84,000, but this one is now the record holder at $280,000. Of course, Griffey's rookie cards were in the junk wax era, so unlike cards of like some of the guys debuting today. He didn't have the opportunity to have any one-of-ones or patch autos or anything of that nature. So it wasn't his rookie cards that have really that much value at all. It's really these late 90s inserts where they all of a sudden started this serial numbering and the exclusivity and the limited print runs and all those types of things that have a lot of value. And in particular, as you can see, this Essential Credentials Now card number to 10, big deal, big result, $280,000. Also worth noting that if you look at Market Mover's Market Pulse Index by decade, right now, 1990s baseball is actually, as of the filming of this, as of this moment, is actually the hottest category of baseball cards right now, 1990s baseball. Teapot, when you saw this auction result, what did you make of it?
I've been saying for about 2 years now that 90s baseball was one of the biggest opportunities in all of sports cards to make money. And I say that for the same reason that I've talked about Dynasty Baseball in the past and other things. When you look at the price gaps, baseball still has the most cards ever made of any sport, the most graded cards ever of any sport. It is still a highly collected, sport in the hobby. And yet the price gaps between the top tier players, including Griffey, who's one of the most collectible players of all time in any sport, don't even come close to sniffing some of the other athletes. One thing that's really interesting is supposedly, whether or not this really was shipped or was a real copy or not is the bigger concern. The number 2 of 10, this was the 4 of 10 that just sold. The number 2 of 10 was on eBay that it supposedly sold on a buy it now for $15,000 in April, like April 23rd of this year. There was a copy that, like 1 month ago, April, there's a raw copy that supposedly sold. So if that was a real card and that person gets it graded, they're going to be pretty happy with that price appreciation. But when you look at the actual bigger gap here, this is just a highly collected set in basketball. Spinatron, who on Instagram, managed to do something, one of the most impressive achievements in all of card collecting, in my opinion. He put the entire set of NBA basketball essential credentials together, including the 1 of 1 Grant Hill and Ron Mercer, the 2 of 2s. And so the way this works is there's opposite serial numbering with the 2 colors, the now and the future. So seeing this Griffey sell for that price, knowing what profile he holds in the hobby, doesn't surprise me. The Hideo Nomo number to 12 sold for $63,000 last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Derek Jeter number to 7 or somebody else show up soon. A few other price points to point out why people are saying, well, this is crazy. The Iverson numbered to 3, not numbered to 10, but numbered to 3, sold for $702,000 on Heritage in February of this year.
That was shocking.
The Kobe Bryant numbered to 8 in a BGS 9 did $580,000 in February. Dennis Rodman numbered to 5, $220,000. And the Jordans numbered to 72, the future, those sell regularly in the 6-figure price range too. So you're looking at somebody like Griffey. Dan Marino did $108,000 numbered to 8. So this is just a highly sought after set for the most important baseball collector in the hobby of all time. And this price doesn't surprise me at all. And I think we're probably going to see more high-profile baseball 90s inserts and parallels surfacing on auction.
There you go. Teapot's calling it. He's been calling it for a bit. Doug, are you rushing out to these auction sites to find these 1990s baseball cards?
No, I don't have that kind of money at all. On the surface, as someone who's not big into baseball, I look at this and I'm surprised that this is the card that breaks the 6-figure mark for Griffey. Without knowing everything that you just said, I would look at this and go, well, the $80,000 card, I would actually prefer it. Game-worn patch, on-card auto. I would rather have that than this kind of an ugly card. It's like the 3-tone green card.
It's pretty cool if you see it in person. I said there's some of those credentials that you see them in person, they're kind of
I like some of them.
Yeah.
I like some of them. I
but
just
you don't like this
that
one?
weird
Fair.
color combination of like dark green and neon green and then
color.
sort of pea green.
I love it.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me personally.
Okay.
So that was kind of surprising just on the surface that that's the card that did that. But then you kind of take a look at the history of that set and it starts to make a little bit more sense. It makes me wonder, what this will do for other big-time Griffies.
Yeah.
If people see that sell, like it's think of it like crypto. Like people were waiting for Bitcoin to break 100,000, then it takes off, right? Now people are waiting to see if Griffey hits a 6-figure card, and now other cards will start to elevate because of that. I think that's probably the best case scenario. But I'm really, really happy to hear the index on the 90s cards. I'm not a baseball collector, but the only time I cared about baseball cards was in the 90s, so I'm super happy to hear that that's up, 6%, and that's better than all of the subsequent years. that warms my cold heart that, junk wax is, having its moment. So I love it.
It is. Although once you get in the late 90s, that's hardly junk wax
No,
with some of
course,
this
yeah.
stuff. But yeah, it is super cool to see. Fun sale. I love these record sales. I'm just happy we're at a place in the hobby once again where we're now seeing these record sales stories pop. It seems like just about every week. We didn't have much of that in 2022 or 2023, but we are back to a good place again where a lot of these high-end, rare, very sought-after players and cards are popping up and setting records. Pretty neat to see. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, please give it a like and a subscribe, and make sure to go get that Arena Club app and use promo code SCI20 for 20% off those slab packs. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you soon again with our next episode. Take care.